Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you all very much for listening. This is the Haven't Seen It podcast. I am your host, Tim Sestito. And alongside with me is Tommy Tevenet.
Hey guys, what's up?
So we decided to start a podcast because it's 2021 and, obviously
Basically,
we're, oh, go ahead.
basically, like book clubs have gone out of fashion, and we're all in on the Zoom now. So we figured, why not we make some fun out of it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's obviously going to be a success because there's only like 30 of them out there.
Yeah.
Uh, so I guess I'll kick it over to Tommy to just give a little explanation of what the concept of this podcast is. Tommy?
All right. So the concept is pretty simple. Basically, Timmy and I choose a movie. We try and do 3 months where one of us has not seen the movie, and we talk about it, and just basically figure out: do we like the movie? Do we hate it? Why do we recommend it in the first place? All that good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and so, we're going to get two kind of perspectives. You're going to get somebody who has not seen the movie before, and you're going to get the perspective of somebody who has seen the movie before. Also, if we really want to watch a new movie, we can just watch a new movie because neither of us have seen it before.
It fits in the rules.
Hey, listen, neither of us doesn't say how many people haven't seen it. It has to just be one of us.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be one of us. So to keep in the spirit of Christmas, we decided to start with Home Alone 2.
The #1 comedy in America is a real scream.
He's back! Sometimes I do get into mischief. We all do.
Home Alone 2. Brilliant. Rated PG. Now playing everywhere.
All right. So, Tommy, let me ask you a very serious question here.
Okay.
What went wrong
With
in your childhood that you were not able to experience the dream of going down Fifth Avenue in a limousine with a big old cheese pizza? So This is Tommy's first time seeing the movie.
Yeah.
Tommy, why don't you give us a little of your general impressions of what you thought of the movie?
So yeah, I pretty much think I just watched Home Alone 1 again, except in New York this time. Pretty much beat for beat, like a lot of the same shit we saw in the first movie. John Hughes didn't really seem to care about, like, whatever. People just want to see Joe Pesci do his shit. Whatever.
This is when the cocaine had really taken over,
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things that's just like it was enjoyable. I mean, it's an enjoyable watch, but it really wasn't anything fresh or original, which I guess you could say for a lot of sequels. So
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't particularly care because like it's a kid's Christmas movie, so like it's kind of the fun of it, and like they were able to like the real charm of the original one is like the relationship between Kevin and the neighbor whose name I'm forgetting, and like turning his entire house, which he knows, into a giant booby trap essentially.
Yeah.
That's the real fun of that movie.
Mhm.
And it's that dream you probably always had as a kid of like, I'm home alone. Like when you were a kid, you were annoyed at your parents. You were like, oh, what if they were gone here? I could just eat ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I could do whatever. And you get to see that. That's the charm of it. This one's a little different. And, like a lot of sequelitis, especially in the early 90s and in the late 80 era, is where they would really start to go to a bigger thing. There's a lot of, for example, like I think I was talking to you before about it. It's like Die Hard 2 in New York.
Yeah.
Babe 2 in New York. One of the Muppet sequels. The Muppets take Manhattan
in New
because
York.
It's like, we don't know what to do. Why don't we just send them to New York and see what happens?
Exactly.
Because
We had Jason Takes Manhattan too. There's also just so many other random movies where just like, fuck it, New York City works. We'll do it. People think it's exotic enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird case of it. I think the one thing it gets right, in my opinion, it nails the holiday spirit of New York, which I think is definitely romanticized by a lot of people. The like the walking down Fifth Avenue, the lights, the Rockefeller Christmas tree.
Yeah, Rockefeller in the ending alone, like, oh, Kevin, this is the biggest fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah, so it's I think that's a big part of the charm that it gets right with the scales, and that's very classic John Hughes. The main criticism is the originality of it, but for me, and maybe it's because I saw it when I was like 7, and it was like he's in a limo going down Fifth Avenue with a cheese pizza, like
as 2 New Yorkers, that was one of those things that like growing up, I must have been like, oh fuck, this is awesome, I can't believe it.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those dreams that it captures that childhood. I think that the Home Alone series kind of really nailed with Kevin, where they basically like John Hughes took Ferris Bueller and just kind of like shrunk him down and made him like a little more awkward, where like, and just made him like just like right when the movie begins with Buzz, like the choir scene where Kevin has the solo and Buzz is doing the things with the lights, and Kevin pushes him and ruins the show. And then Buzz gives his fake apology, and he tells him
he gives a bullshit spiel. It's like, however, I'm sorry, I guess. I'm sorry that Kevin made a joke of himself.
So it's little things like that that are kind of like beat for beat. I remember in the original one, it was spilling the, I think, soda over everything. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Macaulay Culkin's brother Kieran, who is one of the main characters on Succession, playing the ever awkward Fuller. Just literally he's
the kid with the little glasses, right?
So that's his brother, who plays his cousin in the movie. And I like that his entire role is just like, he has glasses, he drinks soda, and he pees the bed, and you just don't want to share the bed.
He's pretty much just a little Tommy.
Yeah, well, and the funny thing is, if you've watched Succession,
still yet to, but yeah. Go.
If Fuller was born into one of the wealthiest families to ever walk the face of the earth, he probably would have just grown up to be Roman. That's kind of one of my.
I mean, could we argue that the McAllister is one of the freaking wealthiest families? I mean, think about that.
They're it's more like Tony Soprano wealth in some sense. It's one of those internet rumors that goes around about where did the McAllister family get their wealth? Because in the first movie, his brother is like going to France and paying for the entire family to come and visit them. And then in the second one, the dad is paying for this entire family. And I guess the uncle.
Yeah, the uncles, the cousins, there's like about like 8 of them or something, that they're all going down to freaking Florida.
Yeah, well, I like how, like, I will say a nice little play on it was, like the first one is they're going to France. It's super romantic. It's, it's France. And when you hear Miami, you're like, oh, okay, we'll go to the beach. It's not really Christmassy, but nothing wrong with going to Miami. And like the place that the uncle suggested to go there because he went there on his honeymoon, and it's just like pouring rain, and it's just a dump of a hotel,
just really trashy motel or whatever,
with like the flickering neon lights, like one of those places where you're sharing the bathroom, where there's a communal bathroom, and you're like, oh God, and you just see the van pull in, like they all just found out they lost Kevin again, because the movie had to happen.
Yeah, of course, it needed to be plot.
And the van just like does the slow pullover, and it's just all their faces like this, just like completely dead fan.
Yeah, just deadpan, mouth agape.
So I guess that's a good place to start. Tommy, what do you think Kevin McAllister's father does for a living?
I have to imagine. So Kevin's family lives in like Chicago, right? So
yeah, right in the Chicago suburbs. I think I'm not super familiar with Chicago.
I mean, I gotta imagine he's like a freaking like CFO for some company, or like very high in like stocks or something. So it's a very, very upper middle class. Maybe even past the middle class, to the point where he can afford a freaking mansion for his goddamn kids. The house in the movies is obviously just giant. You love looking at that, being like, wow, I wish I could ever afford that. So yeah, I'm going for like marketing CFO or something.
You think like a CFO, like a finance company,
Yeah.
or
He-
sale president of sales or something?
Very, very big in terms of that aspect. Yeah.
Well, that's not the rumor on the internet's
Okay.
streets, because on the internet streets, they, the people who have combed this movie with a fine tooth comb, which we have not done. Like I don't have like 14 pages of notes sitting directly in front of me. Um, they question what Kevin does, and I think it's actually kind of.
Is the dad's name Kevin too?
I don't know.
Mr.
I
Mr.
don't think-
McAllister. Yeah.
Mr. McAllister until we get a name, because the names outside of Kevin and Pigeon Lady and Harv and
Marvin Harry.
Marvin Harry,
Yeah.
they don't really matter too much in my opinion, because they're just mom and dad.
Yeah.
Pretty much throughout the entire movie. But so what was it? There was one part, I think it's when she's trying to get a flight back. The mom's trying to get a flight to New York. And she goes absolutely like Carmela Soprano on the person working the desk.
Oh, Tim Curry.
No, yeah, on Tim Curry. Yeah, that's the scene I'm
Tim
talking
Curry.
about. Like where she, they get to the that's right. They get to the hotel in New York, and she's like, you tried to chase down a 10-year-old. You didn't try to keep him. I'm like, oh Jesus, like, oh, just a little credence. Now, do I think John Hughes intended for Kevin McAllister's father, whose name is just loading, which is Peter McAllister?
Okay. Peter
McAllister to be
Yeah.
in the mob? I don't think so, because I think John.
That's a little. Yeah, that's a little much for a kids movie.
Because I think John Hughes in 1991 was probably a little bit too coked out of his mind to.
Was he a cokehead?
Dude, he wrote Ferris Bueller's Day Off in like 3 weeks. Do you know how?
That's impressive. That's what that is.
Tommy, anytime you watch a movie made from like 1978 to like 1994, and I mean obviously later on too, but the majority of those movies were made by people on a ton of cocaine.
People use drugs in Hollywood. Shit.
Yeah,
who would have ever guessed?
No, it really stunned me too. It's definitely. I thought it was just the magic of Hollywood that made it all happen.
Exactly. Steven Spielberg is a what?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise. I mean, you look at Spielberg's face; he hasn't exactly aged well.
Exactly.
He's got the drug wrinkles a little bit. He was before the Botox era of just putting just like erasing wrinkles every year, and then Paul Rudd at 52 is named People's Sexiest Man Alive, and people are like, how does he just look that good? What is his diet? Or like a Tom Brady, what is Tom Brady's diet? It's like Botox is their diet.
Yeah, it's a plastic surgery. It's one of those things that, like, as a kid, that like I always thought that, like, you didn't get like gray hair until like you turn like 50 or something like that, and then I realized that like Tom Cruise, the reason why he still looks the same he did 30 years ago is because he fucking dyes his hair, and if he didn't do all that shit, he'd probably look like a regular old man in his 60s right now.
They also digitally de-age Tom Cruise in like the Fallout movies. Like they do
the Captain Marvel.
Yeah, they do a lot of that.
That too. Yeah,
that's not exactly on topic. But let's just play off this idea of Peter McAllister. Like what, we see it from Kate McAllister, who is Kevin's mother, played by the wonderful Catherine O'Hara.
Always amazing.
Who, she gets a little ghetto fabulous there. Kevin takes, when they get to the airport, Kevin takes Peter's bag looking for the batteries for his thing. And when he takes it with him on the flight to New York, he's got a couple $1,000s in cash, like
just casually. Yeah.
And like, I understand you go on a trip, you're going to take cash with you, but like cash in an envelope tends to, usually when, common folk go, the average man goes on vacation, they get like the little wallet band that goes around their stomach, like the dad has the travel
you mean
wallet
the fanny pack thing?
no, not the fanny pack. It's
That's
like
so
the
different?
travel wallet. You put it under your shirt,
Mhm.
so that way you don't get pickpocketed. Where they have like, and they have like the $250 in cash, and they have
Okay.
like 4 kids with them, and they have to like divide like getting the wife a gift, and they have to divide getting like 4 gifts for the kids while they're all on vacation with that $250. Like that's the common man dad,
Yeah.
not having this very fancy bag and then pulling out an envelope of a couple $1,000, and all his credit cards and all his
stuff. Yeah. I got
his
all those things. No, I'm liking the travel tips right now. So this is a good new angle for a podcast too.
yeah, Tommy, next time you travel, I think it's in your best interest to have like a travel wallet like around your band. I don't want
anything. Yeah.
when I was in Italy
Mm.
a couple of years ago in Rome, we were on the subway, and my dad had his wallet in his cargo, like she had like the cargo shorts on, and he had it in the cargo short pocket, and we had people being like, no, like I had my arm like up on like the railing, like like a New York subway, and they're like, no, like put your arm down. And someone pickpocketed like €250 out of my dad's like pocket. Yeah,
it's one of those things. I always think that like with so many things when I always say like, oh, I'd never be pickpocketed, but I'd be so fucking oblivious. So like they could steal everything from me. I'd be like, whoa, what's happening?
yeah, you seem like a pickpocket victim, so I think the travel band is like it's a good idea for you.
Perfect. Yeah.
So back to New York. Let's talk about the Plaza Hotel. The Plaza Hotel is, the destination. They show it. They give you a little, one of those John Hughes little foreshadowing, if you want to call it, of
on
the
the
commercial.
TV.
And Kevin takes the voice recorder and just like cuts it in there. And then when he gets to New York, he plays it and tells the taxi cab driver, take me there. So what was your thought? One, did you know the biggest did you know that the biggest cameo in the movie was in the movie?
Oh, well, I think it's one of those things that like as a cultural osmosis things. I mean, yes, I did know Donald Trump was going to be the cameo in the movie. Also, because like apparently, we're not going to get down this angle, but during a lot of election cycle, a lot of articles just said former Home Alone 2 star Donald Trump. So it was one of those things that you couldn't really avoid that.
Well, there was like a campaign to like get him out of the movie, and I'm just like, listen, you can like or dislike whoever you want. Like personally, that's my MO. But like he's like you want to just remove him from the movie because like you don't like his political stances. Like I feel like that's like, again, that's a censorship line that I wouldn't want to personally cross. And I'm glad that on Disney Plus, where I was able to stream the movie, I'm assuming you did the same. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that they did not, because it feels like something Disney would do, like cave to like a petition.com, like 100,000.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, like, I don't agree with the guy.
I actually thought the most jarring scene was like Kevin, and like if I had to pick a scene to remove, it's like Kevin on top of the World Trade Center now. It's
well,
just like,
actually, there's one thing I read about that with the World Trade Center. Apparently for a while on the TV broadcast, they cut out the whole World Trade Center part until about maybe like 2010 or 2011, because it's
really like a decade.
Yeah, for like a solid decade, just out of respect for the victims. I read this on IMDb, so I mean, like, granted, I wasn't watching Home Alone 2, as we know, I have not seen this movie before. So apparently that's one of those things that's for a while in the TV cut. They're just like, yeah, we don't need to remind people about this shit right now.
I think I know a lot of like people. I know that happened in like a lot of media. Like immediately after, it was like what was it? Spider-Man was like he was supposed to do like the web across like.
Well, that was the trailer, and then they had to fucking pull that trailer because people
they had to pull the trailer and like cut it from the movie because like you couldn't do that. I mean, they even wanted to to the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, which is a book from like 1940 whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, I don't think you can, because that was coming out in 2002. They're like, I don't think you can name it that. And Peter Jackson was like, well, the work I'm literally adapting is 60 years old, and it's called that. And I'm not changing the name of it.
It is what it is. There was a freaking like Chris Rock like buddy cop movie with Anthony Hopkins where it came out in 2002, and they filmed it the year before, where the original plot was that a terrorist was going to bomb the World Trade Center, and they filmed that.
Really?
Yeah, I forget what the fucking name of this movie is.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie. So it came out in 2002 with Anthony Hopkins, Bad Company.
Yeah, Bad Company of Chris Rock. And apparently, like, it was one of those things where, like, imagine the fucking producers just, like, sick, looking at them like, oh, God, we need to change everything right now.
Oh, yeah. You know, they were in, like, pre-production, like, about to go into filming, and like, it happens, and, like, their first thought is not about the victims. Their first thought is we have to rewrite the entire script.
Yeah. We can't do any of this. Yeah, no, so it's just like, Jesus, fucking the unintended consequences.
Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, let's go back to the Plaza Hotel, because
a
couple of very famous actors, Tim Curry as the concierge who has it out for Kevin from day one, like totally mischievous. Tim Curry fucking rules, and he was awesome. He was so like devious and cunning in that.
He was the one thing in the movie that like felt like kind of newish to it, because like I was trying to think of Home Alone 1. Granted, if you could probably guess, Home Alone 1 wasn't a movie that I've rewatched multiple times. I think I've only seen that maybe 3 times. But anyways, I don't remember a Tim Curry like character that was pretty much out to get Kevin and be like, hey, like, why the fuck are you home alone?
No, because Home Alone 1 was
in his home.
That was in his home. He was alone.
Yeah.
And that was the premise. And he had the old man, and they have that very touching scene in the church where he connects with them, and then
But no Tim Curry. So it was just like he did feel like a good new wrinkle. The one thing of a sequel, it's like, you know, giving you some similar beats, but still fresh.
I would say he's like the new star, like the additional star to the movie. Like I think his performance is excellent. He goes so like he knows it's totally cheesy, like kind of like Joe Pesci, where he's just like, this is a kid's movie.
This is a cartoon.
Joe Pesci released Goodfellas and Home Alone in the same year, and probably filmed Goodfellas before he filmed Home Alone, and was just like, all right, like I'm in this one mob epic, I'm just gonna fucking ham it up. Also, both of Marv and Harry are both fantastic. They are even dumber in this one, which I think I like as a touch, because it's just like, I think the part of the charm, as we said, it's beat for beat for beat for beat for beat, kind of the same movie, but they really ham it up. Like they go full cheese.
They go, and I gotta love Joe Pesci's fake cursing, because that he was probably like fucking up so many takes by just being like, "You little fuck." Instead, he's like, "Razzle, frazzle, frazzle." Bullshit.
Yeah, you mother.
And like Chris Columbus is like, "Joe, you got to cut out the freaking cursing."
Yeah, because Columbus is saying freaking. Well, one of the facts I found online was that, and I think it's an IMDb fact, but Culkin asked Pesci why he never smiled, and he would just tell him to shut up all the time. And then Pesci said that he's pampered by a lot of people, but not by me, and I think he likes that. Yeah. Like, so I like Pesci. Coming off Home Alone, like Macaulay Culkin was a superstar.
Yeah. Oh no, exactly. Everyone was kissing his ass back then.
I mean, people still do, and he's probably like the most famous child actor of the past 40 years. Like,
I'm not even sure who you put up there, like as like a different one, because like trying to think of like he's opened up like so many movies.
The Stranger Things kids, I would say, from like at the past 5 years, it probably the closest thing. It's hard to kind of relate fame from today to
it's still different. I mean, like Millie Bobby Brown, especially of all the Stranger Things kids, are probably the closest comp we can get.
Millie Bobby Brown, or the kid that's in the new
Oh,
Ghostbusters.
Finn Wolfhard. Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah,
and the kids from It, I guess, which is Finn Wolfhard himself. So
yeah. So that's what I mean. Like he was in It, he was in Ghostbusters, he was in Stranger Things. They were like all these movie reboots were just like, we need a Stranger Things kid.
Yeah,
and
like how do we get one?
We're gonna take the gangly one. But yeah, so so Pesci, Marv, they completely ham it up. They're like I rewatched the original one, and they're pretty straight, honestly. And they're like I forgot it opens with Pesci like as a cop, like dressed as a cop in like full cop attire in the original Home Alone, and like trying to get information, and like everybody in the house is running around, like he's trying to ask where they're going to see what their timeline is to
burglar their house.
Yeah. And he like they're pretty straight in the movie, and like Joe Pesci's the straight man. Marv's a little more the goofy one. He always
it's the classic like Bugs Bunny gangsters, whatever. I'll see those guys.
Yeah. And I mean, Daniel Stern is like an incredible physical comedian. Like for me, he's like up there with like in like terms of that era, like Michael Richards. Like half of Kramer and Seinfeld is just Michael Richards. Just
him open up the door. If he
opening up the door, he got cheers for opening up the door.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
A little much, but that kind of physical comedy I really appreciate, and it obviously plays well into Operation Ho Ho Ho.
Yeah.
At Kevin's uncle's completely gutted and abandoned brownstone on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, because he lives in France now and had to leave the country, and his apartment for some reason is just completely gutted.
I don't think it was like he lived in France. I think he like was on vacation in France while they took care of this. So
so like a year later they made zero progress on the apartment. Like
was that mentioned in the first movie? Like
I have no idea, but well, let's go with it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pretend it is.
Like they're just living in France, waiting for the apartment to be renovated. Wink, wink. They're not hiding from anyone or anything. Wink, wink. And the entire brownstone has been complete. There's a giant hole in the floor. Like there's a giant hole in the floor in this apartment. Great
McAllister family mystery right there.
Yeah, we keep coming back to it, but I do think that there is some legs to it. I'm assuming John Hughes just assumed that the dad was like, if you looked at like the character notes in the screenplay, it would probably just say like Lloyd, like Kevin's dad, senior partner at X law firm in Chicago. But it's way more fun that we don't know, because it just opens up that little mystery.
Just like what's going on with the McAllisters? Like, so how can you afford this freaking mansion, Peter McAllister?
Yeah. So all right, let's focus a little bit here. Plaza Hotel.
Okay.
What did you think of the Christmas movie? Or the with one of the best line deliveries of all time. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
It was literally Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. It was good. I mean,
and a happy New Year.
And a happy New Year. It was one of those things that when I was writing notes and watch this for the first time. I was like, is this supposed to be the sequel of the one for the first? Or I was like, are they just playing the same exact scene from that same exact fake movie from the first movie?
They're just completely riffing on like those old pulp, like, cheapo $30,000 budget 1940s, like, gangster movies where, they would run them out with, obviously the scripts will rip off of the original, but at that time, like they would take like 3 scripts and just like reimagine and just like repump them and dump them out, which is clearly the kind of movie that that film, which I cannot seem to find the name of
like Angels something or whatever. I know it's Angels something, but it's one of those things that like another thing in the movie where like, okay, do we really need like exact replica of the scene from the first movie. Like,
yes, because we don't need it, but when you get the line "Merry Christmas, you filthy animals,"
okay,
and
yeah.
a Happy New Year, personally, I would say I'm a fan of just that line alone.
Well,
Makes it worth
I
it.
do have to like the Tim Curry and who we haven't mentioned him yet, but our boy Rob Schneider.
Our boy Rob Schneider, very true, very true.
Very true. We'll go on that on a different tangent, but I just love them on their knees and it's like, yo, I love you, and just like how campy they sell that.
Oh, it's so campy. Like where I mean, it's so fake. Like Tim Curry sneaks in originally, and Kevin sets up the clown that his grandma gave him, which is a little homage to it. Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Speaking of it,
yeah, Pennywise.
I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but he pulls the same maneuver he pulled in Home Alone 1 in the shower.
Yeah.
As Tim Curry tries to bust Kevin McAllister for clearly just making a reservation.
Well,
I
was always trying to think of like what the main problem was. Was it the fact that like I guess more than anything, like, oh, this kid is doing it.
Well, yeah. Well, one, I think that's the big issue is one, the kid doing it. Well, two, and this is the part that I found dated. Like Tim Curry like looked up the credit card that they had on file for the hotel, had to run the credit card because like after he gets the hotel, the family, the police officer in the airport tells them to cancel all your credit cards, right? You gotta cancel all your credit cards so that and when he makes a purchase, we'll be able to find him. But Tim Curry has to like manually run the card. So like Kevin could have just like they could have never actually found Kevin. Like he's obviously the device that allows them to.
Yeah, the one thing they had, he uses that like manual freaking credit card presser. Like I've only seen that I think once in my life. I worked at a restaurant, and then one of my bosses. I don't think I've ever seen it in person before. I remember I worked at a restaurant, and my boss, for some reason, I guess our credit card machines were down that day, and he pulled this out, and I was like, "What the fuck is this little thing right here?" It was just like, oh shit, the '80s called. Can we get the machine back?
Yeah, even the night. I mean, they still ran that gambit in the night. I mean, that's why places used to just not take credit cards, was because like you had to like manually take a machine out.
Manually, it was like a printing presser where it was just like ink it up and just make it an exact copy, which is just like, thank God things are better now, because like now we have a little chip that you can just enter in. It's like so fucking quick.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to keep track of how much money you spend. Just keep spending.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
spend money.
Be a good capitalist.
Exactly. So Tim Curry, our boy Rob Schneider. I like that he tips Kevin tips him with gum.
Yeah.
The first time he's because Rob Schneider puts his hand out, which at a 5-star hotel like the Plaza, any busboy would obviously stick his hand out at the guest. I guess you can probably get away with it with a 10-year-old because like no one's going to listen to a 10-year-old.
They also did show that like fucking Rob Schneider's character is just so greedy in the beginning, where he's like, "Oh, don't count your tips in front of the customers."
yeah, and that's a classic John Hughes charm. Just like a little show don't tell, just a little like this is who this guy is, and this is all this character is. He's going to be about money and just smiling, and he's kind of an ass.
I did like the callback in the end. Speaking of the gum thing, I did like in the end how Buzz just goes up to him and is just like, "Hey, here you go, back to you."
Here's a well, I think it's the second time he goes to the door. I think Kevin orders room service or whatever it was, and Kevin's like, "Oh, I should probably tip you, right?" And he's like, "Still have mine from yesterday." And he's like, "Oh, well, that's too bad," and just pulls out cash and just slams the door in his face.
It raises another question about Rob Schneider's character, though. Like, what the fuck? Who keeps a piece of gum in their mouth for over a day?
There are people who do it. There are people like I'm personally like I can chew through like 2 2 to 3 pieces of gum in like an hour.
Yeah,
And
same.
I just slam it in, and then just like it loses a little bit of flavor, and I'm done.
The
There's people
second
who
the
will,
flavor steps out, I'm like, oh god, can I get this out of my mouth?
yeah, there are people though that will chew gum for
Over.
forever.
Those
Yeah,
are-
over and over. Very, very strange. But
people I hope not to associate with.
yeah, so I think this is where I want to just skip ahead here to Pigeon Lady.
Okay.
So Pigeon Lady, she's mean. She's Old Man Marley. They
Literally the
leader-
same character.
they literally, well, yeah, yes and no.
Same character function, I guess, in terms of the story.
Yeah, I got my
I'll
on a rewatch.
I'll
I got
let
my
I'll let you go.
my
I'll let you
issues
go.
with it. No. So what was your thoughts? Had you heard of the Pigeon Lady before?
That was another thing, cultural osmosis. Yeah, I've heard of the Pigeon Lady. I didn't know too much about her other than that she was a lady who had something to do with pigeons.
So like what was your opinion on the Pigeon Lady from intro to end? Like what
Okay.
was your original thought?
Like at first, immediately, I was like, okay, so fuck, they're just doing like the same thing with old man. What's his name? I mean, I like
Marley.
Yeah, Old Man Marley. I mean, that being said, I did like the character. I did think the character. I was joking to a friend earlier today that she's like the introverted role model, where it's just like, ah, fuck, I'm just gonna live by myself. I don't need anyone else in my life.
Oh, see, I have the opposite opinion on her. Maybe this is coming from multiple viewings, but when we take when Pigeon Lady and Kevin in the park and they go together to Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
They're in like she was like, come on, let's go somewhere warm after they talk in the park. And she helps Kevin get free from the rock. And they go to Carnegie Hall's storage unit, which is either above or below. Like I didn't really understand the geography of it, but that's not really important. Like Pigeon Lady is homeless. Like Pigeon Lady
I don't think that's
does not.
I don't think that's supposed to be exactly a very what's it called? I don't think it's a very subtle thing that John Hughes is going for. I think it's very overt in the movie. Like, yeah, she's a homeless person.
Yeah, but like I'm questioning why. Like the reason they give why is like, I had a boyfriend for 10 years or husband for 10 years, and he you know, she had her heart broken by him, and like, so she had this great life, she had a good job, and now she's a Pigeon Lady and lives in the Carnegie Hall
Shocking.
storage unit.
You'd be shocked. I mean, some people all they need is just one bad day, and the next thing you know, they just get depressed and like, fuck this material world.
No, I don't think it's that. I question, you know, what I'm kind of assuming that Pigeon Lady may have been on drugs. Like I think she's maybe a heroin user.
I don't know. I think that's jumping a little bit to conclusions where it's just like, but I mean, clearly she is homeless. I mean, I think that she was just a person that, like, as taken from what we know from the movie, she just clearly just went through a crazy period after her love left her, and then at that point she was like, fuck it, I don't want to be around anyone. She probably lost her job because of depression, and she was probably just someone who just fell into the rest of depression more than anything.
That's fair. I still don't think that she's living. It's one thing if she's Pigeon Lady and she just has like some crummy apartment, like in the Bronx or something, like, you know, somewhere uptown, like some just like tiny crummy little, like, you know, just like studio that's like 400 square feet. Like Pigeon Lady is literally like living in a storage unit.
Yeah,
with pigeons.
Yeah, I do gotta admire though the homeless tenacity. Maybe not the right word, but basically the fact that, like, I made a note during that whole scene with the Carnegie Hall that, like, Kevin would be the type of kid who, like, in his 20s and 30s, that would just have the hookup for everywhere. He would know how to get into every club. He would know how to get into every venue. He would be able to, like, oh, I know a guy. Yeah, like, oh, like, so and so can get me into Carnegie Hall.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's because he's he's very slick. He's got that Ferris like like he should, like they shrunk down Ferris Bueller to make Kevin McAllister and made him just like a little more awkward. Like they just said, like, what if Ferris Bueller was 10 and we named him Kevin McAllister and he lived in a big house in Chicago? You know, very, very different settings for the two of them, growing up wise.
Yeah.
You know, you could say that maybe after Home Alone 2, you know, Kevin decides to leave his parents because, you know, his parents
this was
lost
something
him twice.
Yeah, this is something that I was talking about. I mean, like, so like I guess we should go into it now. What do you think Kevin did? What do you think, hypothetical 20 years later, what do you think Kevin's like relationship is with his whole family? Because by the end of the movie in Home Alone 2, he's like, "Oh, family is great. I love family." Oh, like, and again, you know, I'm so sorry for everything, and he makes up with them. But then, like, when he thinks about it, like, he's like, "Fuck!" Like, they forgot about me not once but twice, where I had to fend for myself against goddamn like burglars. Like, obviously in the movies, Harry and Marv were played off as very comedic and very like cartoonish villains. But when you really think about it, it's like, thanks, mom and dad. Like, you just, I guess, just don't care about me. I guess I'm the forgotten son. Like, how much do you think you like? Kevin's edgy teenage phase was definitely like, oh well, like that time you forgot me in New York and at home.
Oh, once the parents started watching The Sopranos, because obviously they would have watched any mob-related content day one. And Kevin, you know what? This is 1990. He's 10, 11. Sopranos. He's about 18. That's when they finally are like, okay, maybe we take him to therapy. He might need it because he failed out of high school.
Yeah.
He probably just becomes a bit of like a fair, like as I say, I think Kevin is just Ferris Bueller.
I think that like he probably, I mean, like spoken from like the last two movies, I think that Kevin's definitely an introvert as hell. He's one of those people that he enjoys his own company. I mean, the fact that like he did all the shit in New York and like he did all the touristy things in New York that even as someone who's lived about an hour away from New York his whole life hasn't even done.
Oh well, can I want to touch on that because I do, when a movie is taking place in New York, as someone who lives in New York and somebody who is from just outside of New York and someone who's good with directions, I do enjoy seeing if a movie, if I know the area, I like to see if they actually like do it pretty geographically right, or if it's just like we don't care. And like it starts off as we don't care because he goes to the Statue of Liberty, goes on top of the World Trade Center, and then he's at the South Side Streetport where he crosses the street, and then Harry and Marv come off the fish freezing, saying they escaped from jail, and then he just shows up at the Plaza Hotel, and then the rest of the movie just takes place on the west side of the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and it's like like I'm sure some of the cuts are not straight, which is fine, but like it's at least geographically it make, you know, the Plaza Hotel somewhere in the 60s, and then the apartment I think is on West 95th Street, and so you know, like,
and
like
where's Duncan's toy store in between all this?
Well, that's supposed to be FAO. That's FAO Schwartz.
Okay, yeah. Google Maps to our movie rescue right now.
Yeah, FAO Schwartz. So I looked it up. So the Plaza Hotel is on 59th and 5th Avenue. So it's on the corner there.
Okay.
It's on the east side. So Kevin realistically running through the park to get to West 90, I think it's West 95th Street, to go to his uncle's apartment that he has in his father's address book is not out of the question. Like that geographically makes sense. You're going to cut a movie to cut useless time anyway. So, and I believe it was on like 54th and 5th, where like FAO Schwartz, I think it was like right around where Rockefeller Center used to be, was where FAO Schwartz was.
Okay.
So that's obviously, that was the main basis for the Duncan's toy chest, which is sweet. That was another thing that also wasn't in the original. talking about giving back for the spirit.
I guess if you had to like do like a parallel one for one, Duncan's Toy Store, the closest parallel would probably be the church thing.
But I would say the pigeon lady in the thing was the closest, because like the context of the conversation was kind of closer to there, because like
True.
I guess they're both kind of similar.
Yeah, both like little riffs on the same thing.
Yeah, they break it down into two little scenes instead of one bigger, more momentous scene. Like having, church is very intimate and it means a lot to a lot of people. So like when you take a scene and you really have that kind of an intimate moment with somebody who has kind of been shown as the villain of the movie, quote unquote, it's a kid's movie with Old Man Marley, and you hear his problems with the relationship with his son. Kevin gives him advice, like it's really, really sweet. And both of these, the first one was about family. Kevin, getting back with his family, but this one they kind of focused a little bit less on like him reuniting with his family and a little bit more on like the spirit of the season and giving back in
the more of the Christmas typical stuff.
The kind of religious side that kind of doesn't always get the play it should, of giving back. Like Duncan's toy chest had the huge barrel of cash that was going to be donated to the children's hospital. Kevin walks by the Christmas hospital.
I did like that little touch of like he basically just like, shit, like I can't let Marv and Harry get away with this. So
yeah, exactly. It's nice. It was like he wants to give back in his own way, and he throws the rock through the window, which directs us towards the chase through Central Park and Operation Ho Ho Ho.
So,
which
I want to get into before we get into the whole climax of everything. I was wondering this about the movie. So, Harry and Marv, the reason why they end up chasing after what's his name, the guy with Culkin, is because he takes a photo of them, literally in the act of stealing the store. Now, I guess we're supposed to take that like those two characters are just fucking idiots, which they are. But they probably could have just been like, all right, whatever, the kid took a fucking photo of us. We're already fugitives. Let's just go somewhere else. Like it
has that vendetta and angle to it. Like they wanted him. And then I think if he had just taken the photo, they weren't going to do anything. But then he threw the rock through the window and the alarm went off. So they couldn't like go through. I think they wanted to go through every floor register is what they were saying.
This is definitely like armchair robbery right here. but no, so if they could have totally just been like whatever money they got, they're like, okay, well, fuck it, we got what we got. This little kid's gonna be a little shit. We know what's gonna happen if we try and get him again. Like if they were smart, then we wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy, me and you should have been the robbers in that situation. We would have walked away with a ton of kids' charity cash.
We're doing the whole Mark Wahlberg thing now.
Yeah, exactly. Except instead of stopping a plane on 9/11, we would have, stolen a bunch of money from a kid's charity. Real noble. But yeah, so we're at the climax, right? This is the big potato. So between all the schmaltz with Duncan's toy chest, the first, I want to say like the first like 45 minutes to an hour is just Kevin like exploring New York in the Plaza Hotel. Then he bumps into the Wet Bandits and it leads to that chase, right after Duncan's toy box, it leads into the chase, which is kind of where he meets the pigeon lady. So you get like, you have the scene with the very emotional scene with Mr. Duncan, then the chase through the park, the first chase through the park with the bandits, where the pigeon lady saves Kevin. Then they have that another very emotional scene there. Kevin, after the scene with the pigeon lady, where he leaves Carnegie Hall, he walks by the kids' hospital, which I was talking about the geography. I don't know which kids' hospital it was. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Then he goes back to Duncan's toy chest and decides to stop the robbery in progress. But before he does that, he stops by his uncle's house and sets it up with booby traps, as his Home Alone tradition,
as his jigsaw tendencies go.
Well, I think Jigsaw actually takes a lot more from Kevin McAllister than
That's
vice
true.
versa there, buddy.
Yeah.
I know you're a horror movie guy, but don't be like, oh well, they just borrowed from Jigsaw. It's like that movie came out
Oh, well,
a
I'm
decade
not
later.
saying that. I'm just saying that. Yeah, similar tendencies.
Yes. So like, would you say that since Jigsaw is he's a wooden puppet that's a gigantic psychopath, that
Yeah.
Kevin McAllister might be a psychopath?
I mean, there have been many fan theories that he becomes just fucking psycho, and memes out there. Yeah, there is out there that Kevin McAllister, he wanted to hurt Marvin Harry. He didn't have to go to all those lengths.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting mix of like, what would a child do in this case? Because Kevin sets up the house, but he is warranted because he knows that they're going to chase him.
Yeah,
he's dealt with them already. He knows that the first one was protecting his property. The second one, he has a gun, and they're gonna like he's protecting his life there. So I think in that sense he's right. But all right. So I counted it up, and from my calculations, there are 13 pranks, injuries, whatever you want to call them, booby traps that happened to the sticky bandits. I think we've been calling them the wet bandits, but they are now the sticky bandits.
They're now the sticky bandits, yeah.
So, and which ironically enough, they end up dressed like chickens after the pigeon attacks because they have all the gunk on them in the park, and that's how they get caught.
That's that Hollywood foreshadowing right there.
That Christopher Columbus schmaltz, as they call it. But it starts off with Marv taking 4 bricks to the face, which is
that alone.
All right, that's a kid. That's I don't think we really need to debate would these people be alive?
Yeah. No, the answer is no. It's one of those things that because of the tone of the movie that Roger Ebert actually touched on this in his review, where he didn't like the movie that much because he said cartoon physics don't work in the real world, because when you do shit like throw bricks at Marv, you can hear the bones crunch. And that's all you can think. And that's what we're thinking when we're watching this. We're probably about to nitpick it itself. We're it's Kevin's just going on straight murdering them right in the beginning scene.
Yeah, I personally kind of like the when the tone of the movie's right, which I think Home Alone nails, because I think you can even make the case in the original Home Alone that those two guys would be dead from getting paint cans in the face.
That alone
would take paint. That alone would put you in a coma at a minimum. Your brain's not working anymore.
Yeah. I looked up. There's there's a horror movie. This is on the Wikipedia page, which of course I have to go on that angle. There's a horror movie where a character said, what would actually happen if you got the paint can in the face like Home Alone, and the killer actually does that to a character. So
what's the name of this movie?
Oh God. Fucking just looked up on Wikipedia earlier and already forgot. It's probably not.
Sounds like you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Maybe that's the next podcast. Most likely not.
It's definitely not.
It's definitely not.
It's most certainly not.
It's definitely not. Don't worry.
But but the bricks, I think that's within the logic of what a 10-year-old, I think the one thing these movies really get right, and why I think they have an infinite amount of charm, and why people will continue to return back to watching the Home Alone series, is they nail the kid aspect, and they make Kevin really seem believable. And when maybe it's more relatable for men than women, but when I think back of myself as a 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old, I can see a lot of Kevin McAllister in what I wanted my image of myself to be.
Every kid wants to be Bugs Bunny growing up, and that's pretty much what Kevin is at the end of the day.
Yeah, he definitely there's definitely that kind of, especially during the booby scenes where he just he's never really in danger in the until the end when they get him when he slips on the ice and they get him in the park.
Well, it's both movies have that scene where it's they're about to get him, and then Pigeon Lady or Old Man Crothers,
Marley, Old Man Marley. He's never in trouble until he's in trouble, which is, and again, it is probably just they just probably looked at the Looney Tunes formula and said, okay, let's just
Let's
do a Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote skit.
Yeah. No, exactly.
But so I think where I say like, okay, it's believable, like like he sets up the whole booby trap thing, like there's a giant hole in the floor, he puts some of the oil on the ground so that they can't get in, like these are all very kids things, but then it escalates. And at the end, when Kevin makes his escape, he dipped the rope from the top of the building. And I actually think outside of, there's only a couple that I think I actually kind of have an issue with in terms of like Kevin's logic. He puts the generator on the faucet. So after like the paint spills on Marv, that he goes to just like wash off his face to get the goop, the paint, whatever off his face, and he electrocutes. And Ebert might say like, oh well, like you'd hear the bones crunching. Well, he literally becomes a skeleton in that thing. Like they
exactly.
play into which is, again, that's very Looney Tune. Very Looney Tune-ish. That's one I have problem with. Two, the giant banister. I have no idea how he rigged that thing. That thing must have been like 50 pounds, and he weighs about 70 pounds. Like, I don't think a 10-year-old somehow has the strength to just even lift that thing, like move it.
Who knows? Maybe he's so smart that he fucking had a whole pulley system set up or some bullshit.
Yeah. I really like the third one. I really like the setup for, even though I don't necessarily believe Kevin would actually pull it off, was the kerosene on the hat of Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Where like he keeps trying to turn on the lights, and it's a bunch of fake outs, and it's coming, but like he keeps faking it out, and then the one he's finally confident on, his head's on fire, and he's got to stick it in. Like, do I think Kevin would actually know what kerosene is at age 10?
And second of all, anything, was there just kerosene in this abandoned house?
I mean,
yeah, I guess
it seems like maybe for some insurance money you would try to burn the place.
The McAllister scam again comes back.
The McAllister family, they don't appreciate your term calling it a scam, Tommy.
Yeah. Now I'm on the list.
You gotta apologize. And then the last thing, and again, dipped in kerosene, like he pushes the tool table down the stairs. Like, that's very vicious, but I don't think it's out of the realm of like, what would a kid think to do? Like, that's something a kid would think to do.
Yeah.
Kevin McAllister, starts on the roof, gets them through the building, then chases them up the roof again. So he dipped his escape rope that he uses to climb down off the thing. He dipped it in kerosene.
Yeah.
And then as they tried to make their escape down the rope, he lit it on fire. And then the rope, burns, and they fall from, the fourth floor of a New York City brownstone onto the floor. They can move, though, especially after all the trauma they had. And again, we said it. They're Looney Tune characters. It doesn't matter.
We accept the fact that they're not going to be dead, even though when you really nitpick it like we are right now.
And especially in this one, they're so cartoony. It really doesn't.
Oh, it's worse. Yeah, it's just Kevin was really out for blood this time.
Well, he was really out for blood, but I'm saying even when you meet them from the beginning, he's like they're so cartoonish, and like both of them.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Sorry, 14 pranks. I miscounted. 14 pranks pulled on the Sticky Bandits by Kevin McAllister, which leads into the end of the movie where he has the emotional scene with his mother at Rockefeller Center. I find it odd that he did a whole montage of like places to go in Manhattan. I really respect them for not doing Times Square, because like don't. If you've never been to New York, don't go to Times Square. Just like
it's not as exciting as you think.
Unless you have Broadway tickets, don't go to Times Square. There's nothing there.
Stores.
And two, like like he wouldn't have gone to Rockefeller Center if he loves Christmas trees. Like it kind of feels like a missed thing, like where if he like just walked by the tree, and especially since it's right near the hotel anyway, if he had just walked to the tree and just briefly, it only had to be 2 seconds, but then that way, like when the mom clicks and she goes, I know where he is, and runs to the tree and sees him there. It's a very sweet moment where it happens again, obviously the big reunions scene, and then Buzz gives Kevin the first gift because he earned it, and since he threw a brick, vandalized a building, and Mr. Duncan was like, oh, that kid saved a bunch of kids' Christmases. I'm going to give him one of everything in the store and he decided this at like 12 a.m. on Christmas morning. It's truly a Christmas miracle.
Seriously.
And then he runs out and he gives the doves. I don't think we mentioned the doves, which I think it's sweet to Pigeon Lady. That way we'll be friends forever, which he got from Mr. Duncan. Again, it kind of connects the two nice sentimental values of the
movie characters.
And then of course you can somehow hear from the Plaza Hotel in the middle of Central Park that Kevin spent $967 because after abandoning your child for the second time, not the first time, the second time, you really have an issue with how much money he spent. And I mean,
exactly. At a certain point, it's like, okay, like fucking hell, Peter, this is your fault. I mean, like, not only was it twice, it was twice in the span of a year. I mean, like, think about
it was a Christmas tradition. They called it a McAllister Christmas tradition. They literally lean into it.
How shitty the parents are that they're joking about it. I mean, like, I had a situation that was like somewhat similar with like a church group, and I still bring it up all the time. I never forget about it.
Wait, you got lost with a church group?
Yeah. So I guess
I've known you for a very long time. When did you get lost with a church group?
When I was in 8th grade, I was doing confirmation because my parents wanted me to, and pretty much I was on a confirmation trip to upstate New York, where we're going on a ski trip, and we're all going ski lodging and everything, and we're driving back to our cabins, and in the cabin, when we were driving towards the cabin, the car I was in got stuck in the snow, and there was a car ahead of me. So the chaperones told us, okay, guys, why don't you all go to the next car? So we're like, okay, we run out to the next car. The other two kids are fucking faster than me, so they get to the car immediately. And then I watch as the other car drives off without me. And meanwhile, I'm like 12 or 13 at this time. So I'm walking in the middle of the snow, just by myself, just being like, oh my God, like what the fuck? Like I'm gonna be like dying in these woods. I'm done. I'm lost.
Even though there was another car directly behind you that was stuck.
Well, no, they went away. They weren't even there.
You were just like left on a side of like a road in like upstate in like by Hunter Mountain.
Something like that, yeah. for a little bit. I think so. What happened was what saved me was a snowplow driver. I guess my Pigeon Lady, a snowplow driver that we saw earlier before, was like, "Hey man, did they leave you behind?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, cool. I'll give you a ride." So he fucking drove me to the cabin. Thank God I didn't get murdered. He was a good Pigeon Lady type analog. And when I got back to the cabin, everyone like, I'm not even kidding. Everyone just like fucking clapped because they're shocked I even made it back.
Did nobody go out to like look for you?
They didn't realize. Another
layer of the Tommy Tevenate onion just continues to just unravel.
No, exactly. So my mom was not exactly happy when she found out about that.
I would imagine. So yeah, you can actually kind of relate to it. At least it wasn't your parents.
I know what it's like, so I still don't fucking forget that. And that was 13, 14 years ago at this point.
So that's pretty much Home Alone 2. I would like to add, when they're at the hotel in Florida, they are watching It's a Wonderful Life in Espanol, And when they were in France in the first movie, they were watching It's a Wonderful Life in France. And I just like that little
French?
touch. Obviously, they just forgot to change the movie and the screenplay, but no, it's a nice little touch. The carryovers, the similarities. They were clearly trying to what was the thing you said about Macaulay Culkin earlier, right? With Columbus, didn't you say that they were trying to film 2 and 3 together? Are you the one telling me that, or did I read that?
I actually did read this earlier today. So it wasn't even, I don't know if they tried to refilm it, but Home Alone 3 was originally supposed to be like McCulkin as a teenager, but then around 94, he decided to retire from acting at that point. So that's why Home Alone 3, which I was shocked to find out is actually written by John Hughes, doesn't have Macaulay Culkin.
Well, that's because in 1991, Michael Jackson visited the set of Home Alone 2.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we go to ratings now at this point. So
Yeah, I mean,
do you want to do out of 5?
Sure.
Okay.
I would give it, I mean, in terms of if I'm going to grade it on a scale of like a Christmas movie, because I think you got to treat them a little differently, because like I'm going to watch this 1 month out of the year.
Yeah.
And it's it's probably on my annual Christmas movie watch list. I got to give it like a solid 4 out of 5. Like I think for what it is for a Christmas movie, and if the original Home Alone to me is like 5 out of 5, like one of the best Christmas movies ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really like I just think, like, I get it's the same script, but sometimes it's just fun. Like it's just a lot of fun. They do it up enough, in my opinion, to not make it to not make it you the first. Obviously, you've realized it, but like because you're older and you've watched enough movies, but like as a kid, you're not going to realize you're watching the same movie again.
Yeah,
and I think they capture the charm of Kevin McAllister and of being a kid so well that I don't know how you can go through the holiday season. I don't know how you went through 27 years of your life without seeing this movie during the Christmas season.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. It's one of those things. So with me, like, I did like this movie. Home Alone was never really a movie that was a Christmas classic for me. I mean, not in a bad way. To be honest, I think the first time I ever saw Home Alone itself was maybe like 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh wow! Oh, so you didn't get to experience this at all?
No, exactly. For some reason, the McAllister experience is not a part of my childhood. Probably because I lived through it as a ski lounge. But anyways, going through it, Home Alone 2. I mean, like you said, it's pretty much like a beat for beat kind of copy of the original for the most part. A lot of the same characters. Pigeon Lady, old man, fucking whatever.
Marley.
I always forget his name. Old man Marley. And same things where they do the sequelitis thing of like, oh, we did it again. Oh, it happened again.
But it's in New York.
But now it's in New York. Shit. That being said, still an entertaining movie. I still found it really good. So great performances. Pesci and Daniel Stern were great comedic actors, great physical actors. So I'm gonna go with like a 3.5 out of 5. So
yeah, that's fair.
So
would you watch it again next Christmas? Like on your own?
I definitely think I would. I probably wouldn't be the last time I watched this movie. So
good.
So I have a question for you. So because we've been talking so much about how this movie is pretty much like a carbon copy of the first one, if this movie was the first one, do you think it would be considered a Christmas classic to the extent that the first one is, as in like one of the greatest movies of all time?
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't see how this movie. I don't see, like, because the name Home Alone doesn't make sense. Like, because he's not home.
Well, let's say the movie was called Lost in New York or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Home Alone. Part of what really makes Home Alone great is the title. Like, like obviously there's a lot more to it than that, but like it's not often that a movie has like the perfect title. Like Home Alone is one of the best, just like perfect representations, play on words, like without it being too much of like we're trying to play on it. Like it's just I think it's perfect in that sense. Like Lost in New York, like you know, like I don't think it's getting that kind of attention in 1992.
Mhm.
Like maybe because it's John Hughes, and you put like you put Joe Pesci, you put Catherine O'Hara,
Yeah.
you put, you know, you're putting some pretty reputable actors in there. You put someone like Daniel Stern, who isn't as big of a star as those two, but is
Still,
certainly
no,
reputable,
yeah,
certainly reputable enough of a comedic actor for like parents to be like, oh, we can go see this. Like this isn't out of, you know, this will be fine. But like I think the name Home Alone, like you just tell if you told an adult that has never heard of Home Alone, that's been in a coma since 1989, like what do you think the movie Home Alone's a good movie? Or like what's it about? They're like, it's somebody home alone. Like,
yeah. Well, Lost in New York could be
probably
like a thriller or something.
There's probably a movie called Lost in New York, which is just about some indie direct about somebody searching for love or something like that,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about that when I was watching it last night, especially towards the end. I still think, I mean, like, Home Alone 2, let's be honest, is probably up there as a Christmas classic. Not to the extent the first one is, but it almost seems like one of those movies where like, oh yeah, the sequel's good too. It's not like one of those ones where it's like, oh, like forget about the sequel, like we don't talk about it, it ruined the movie.
Yeah, it doesn't have that
Yeah.
sequelitis where you just go, oh no, they didn't make a sequel, don't even bother. But that usually also happens. I mean, after Home Alone 2, there's like 4 other Home Alones. They
Which
even
is
made one for
crazy.
Disney. They made a new one for Disney Plus with the chubby kid from Jojo Rabbit, like his friend who gets enlisted, and like I saw the trailer for it and it looked just it's like they keep,
Well,
like
it
it's such
gets
a
to a
big
point where like you can only run so well so many times with a sequel.
I don't even think it's that. It's like missing the charm of like, I think
Well,
when a lot of these,
I haven't seen the new one yet, but I've read a lot about it, about what happened on the movie, is that the way they try and make it spin it, and I think this actually could have been good, but apparently they didn't execute it well, was they try to make it so the villains, as in like the 2 people who try and break into the house, they make them the main characters, where it's just like trying to make them sympathetic. Not that they're like burglars in this one, but they're more like,
yeah, no, I like that. Like they're probably like down on their luck dads. They need to,
yeah.
They lost their jobs. They have to pay, you know, they didn't tell their wives, whatever. It's like, yeah. I would agree with you. I think, and it's part of what makes John Hughes so strong. And I remember seeing Home Alone 3 as a kid, and like when I was 7 or 8, whenever it came out, like I remember not liking it as a kid, which should tell you something, because kids,
it's weird
because kids don't like, kids like pretty much anything you throw at them, so it's got to be bad for like a kid to not like it.
Yeah, when something's shit as a kid, then you know it's really fucking shit.
Yeah. And what I'll say is, just to like end on it, is like what makes those like classic John Hughes movies, and like I haven't done a deeper dive into his later catalog, but like I think he definitely lost a step. And like part of what really makes you can go to Ferris Bueller, you can go to Breakfast Club, you can go to any of his other stuff that's not Home Alone. He really gets the sentiment and like the heart, and he's able to take 5-10 minutes out of the movie and give you a reason to really care about the characters and to get an understanding of like where they are emotionally, and not in a exposition dump kind of way, in very sentimental moments, and then they always kind of pay off at the end. You know, kind of like Old Man Marley in the church, and then the shovel at the end to save Kevin. Like I think that's part of the charm. Also, we didn't mention it. Criminal, we didn't mention it, but John Williams, electric on the score.
Yeah, I forgot that, honestly, like, until you mentioned that he did the score of this. But still, fuck, like any popular movie from like goddamn like 1970 until probably like 10 years ago, John Hughes probably did the score. He's up there.
Yeah, John Williams. But yes, a lot of Johns getting thrown around there. But so yeah, okay. So I give it a 4. You give it a 3.5. If you haven't seen Home Alone 2, go see Home Alone 2. And
Recommend.
If you haven't watched it yet this holiday season, give it a watch. I'm Tim Sestito.
I'm Tommy. 7A.
And I guess we have seen it. All right. Have a good night.